Hey everybody, I'm here to talk about a form of therapy that will revolutionize everything you've known about counseling. It is called existential therapy, and it's not a very talked about form of therapy. Most of the time we hear psychoanalysis, we hear cognitive behavioral therapy, Adlerian, we hear all these forms of therapy, but existential therapy is kind of a mix of all of these other forms of therapy. The origins of existential therapy began post-World War II in the aftermath of the war. A lot of people who were surrounded by destruction started wondering what was the meaning of life if all of their family, their friends, their homes was just taken away and destroyed from one day to the other. These people were understandably at the end of the meaning of their life. Since they had nothing to live for, they started questioning, why am I still here? Why do people exist? What is destruction? Why is destruction even a thing around me? And all of these were very important questions that people needed answers to, but also there's not one single answer to all of these questions. Existential therapy does ponder the question, why do people exist, existence itself, but it also focuses on the theme of freedom and responsibility, choice. In existential therapy, freedom is not your typical freedom, I can walk out my door right now, or I'm free to drop this class. That's not what freedom is in existential therapy. It's more of a responsibility. Freedom is a responsibility that we as individuals have. And the choices that come with that freedom are very much our own. And we have to be responsible for the choices as well as the consequences, whether they be good or bad. And that's another main objective of existential therapy. A brief explanation of this theory is that where we are in life up to a certain point, that may be the point where you start going to therapy, you got there based on your choices. They were your choices alone, and nothing else in the world around you was responsible. The true beauty of existential therapy is that it's more of a philosophy than a very rigid, structured therapy type. There is no formula to start therapy and finish in whatever X amount of months or after you accomplish something. This is something that can be ongoing. We will have questions. We as humans will always make decisions, and we always have to really think about them. And we all need someone to talk to. Some techniques that you will see in existential therapy can be role play. If you as a client has some unresolved issues, we will encourage you to take on the position of someone else, or maybe a third person watching you from above. You can also expect a lot of encouragement in existential therapy. Since it is pondering the question of existence, it's also very important to not give up hope, to know that there is a meaning for you than it is for me, than it is for the next person or the other person. Everyone has a different meaning. None of it is wrong. It's just a matter of finding your answer. The third technique that we can use is actively listening to you. I know that a lot of therapies dismiss clients, for example, very strict ones, like very scientific ones, like cognitive behavioral. The counselor really doesn't sit there and listen to you. They study your behavior, which is also very important, and it can be used with existential therapy, but it also is important to you as a client to be heard by us as a counselor. And existential therapy is the epitome of listening, actively listening, because there's a difference between hearing and listening. And you will get that from existential therapy. Effectiveness studies done on women and elderly have shown that existential therapy has heightened mood, has decreased depression, and has been good to help the patients to not feel lonely. In conclusion, existential therapy is designed with no design, and it is tailored to each individual with all the tools that they need to not only answer the question of life, but also keep their motivation in going with their life. I know a lot of people that go to existential therapy are probably at the end of their rope, and they're really questioning, like, what is my purpose here? I have no purpose. I just want to finish this. That is not at all what we want in existential therapy, and you get the motivation to want to keep going in your life, to be motivated to make those free choices and to take responsibility for them. And they don't have to be bad. You make good choices and you get good outcomes. And if you want more of that, you can go to existential therapy and definitely get that. Thank you.